Hello everyone, welcome back and thank you for stopping by again. Crypto TNT here. So we have got all of our components ready and we have started assembly. Um, Most of you should know how to install a motherboard, how to install a memory, CPU. That should be pretty straightforward. So as you can see, I've already mounted my motherboard inside my frame. I've ran most of the cables around. I'll be working with my Z390, but any motherboard, it's pretty much all the same. So the couple important things to do is to make sure your CPU power is plugged into the CPU. The PCIe will fit in that slot, but do not do it. You will break your motherboard because wiring is not exactly same in a CPU connector and your PCIe connector. Then all you gotta do is just plug in 24 power pin. Then you can get, my advice would be to just do it with one card, get the operating system installed and everything else just to make sure everything works, and then you can just install all of your other cards and it should boot. You should have no issues as long as you have followed all the instructions that I've given. PCI risers, pretty much I would still start it even with the one card just to get used to it. You can plug in a card straight into a motherboard, but why do it? You can actually, if you're building a six uh, GPU rig, then you can just install all six risers or however many you want at the same time, and then later you can just keep adding cards to it. I will demonstrate currently how to connect your riser to your GPU, and you will do same for one or six cards. Just keep rolling down the line. You'll plug in a riser into one of your PCIe slot. I would definitely try to remember which slot you plugged in which card, because your Hive OS is going to remember your overclocks based on the PCIe slot that you plug your card in. So when you're doing cleaning and everything else, I would definitely plug the same card in the same slot. That way you do not have to mess around with the overclocks, especially if you have hodgepodge cards like I do and have everything like 3070s, 3060s, 1060s, 2060s, RX 6600s, all in the same frame. And pretty much you will have to plug in riser power, which is PCIe power, and then you will also have to plug in that same power into your card. Once you have at least one card installed, I would definitely recommend booting your rig and going into your BIOS, because we do have to do a couple tweaks in the BIOS to make sure everything is working as it should, and we have to adjust a couple of the BIOS settings to make sure that we can actually mine with our cards. In BIOS, you want to switch to advanced mode, go to settings, you can go integrated peripherals, VGA detection, you want to put it on ignore. That way your rig always hosts regardless if you have a card plugged in or not. HD audio controller, you can definitely disable it. You don't need it. Then we can go to power. You definitely want to power on, restore after AC power loss in case you lose power or something like that. You definitely want to make sure that your rig always just starts by itself. That way you do not need a power switch or anything like that. After that, we're going to take a look at the most important section, which would be enabling your above 4G memory, cryptocurrency mining. Make sure it's enabled. PCI lanes, you definitely can keep it at generation 1. I usually keep it at generation 2, so if you're running into any problems, Definitely want to play with this setting. You can, you're pretty much done with BIOS right now, so you can save everything, and we're going to switch to a different computer and create a operating system flash drive so we can continue. So if you go to Google or any other search engines, type in HiveOS, click on it. You'll have to create account. I already have account created, so I don't have to do that. So I'm just going to sign in. If you do not have farm already created, you'll have to hit on this plus button to create a farm. Name it. I already have mine created, so I'm just going to go in it. Then you will have to hit the plus sign up top, add worker. We're going to go with GPU, CPU, hard drive. We're going to go simple because this one will allow you to install it straight onto solid state drive or a flash drive. I usually just do a flash drive and just move my operating system. Or if you have external enclosure for a solid state drive, you can just go straight there. This is operating system of your rig that you are actually installing your operating system, not your mining rig. So in my case, we're looking at the Windows. We're going to download installer, and we're going to start the installer. This will be select disk image. You pretty much want to select the last one or the newest one. Hit continue. Farm hash, you can actually copy it or it will automatically enter it for you, and you can find it under your settings under your farm. Continue. It'll tell you to select your flash drive. I'm going to install a flash drive right now. Hive G, hit flash image. It'll take probably a good 15-20 minutes to install everything. Once our image is installed and our flash drive is ready, we can go ahead and plug it into our mining rig, and it should boot from a flash drive just fine, and it will do the whole installation process and everything else, and you will find yourself on a screen that looks like this. This pretty much just gives you overview that everything went fine. It also gives you some Linux commands and stuff. So if you're not familiar with Linux, it will definitely be a good time to kind of take a look at some of those things because you will need them. And right now I am running a miner, so pretty much if I just type in a miner, it will actually give me all the hash rate and all the information that I need. Now we can go back to our web interface for HiveOS, and that's one of the great things about HiveOS. Web interface will let you monitor, overclock, and do everything with your farm. We should be able to see your rig, whatever you named it. You'll be able to see it on the first screen, but we will have to we'll have a couple of the error messages that will keep telling us no flight sheet. So what we want to do is we have to create the flight sheet, create the wallet. So first, if you want to go to back to the farm, and then right here it's the wallets. As you can see, I already have a decent amount of wallets out here created. So you will either have to go MetaMask, you can go Coinbase, you can do, you have a lot of options depending on what your preference is. Do you want to mine straight to exchange, which is not recommended, but if you're trying to save on gas fees and you're mining Ethereum, it's definitely a valid option to go with. You also get to you have to create the wallet for specific currencies too. Ethereum, Flux, AVN, Raptorium, whatever you want to do, but most of the time you can just go on YouTube or just Google it how to create the wallet. I would definitely consider creating a MetaMask wallet, and then for some of the other currencies, you'll have the specific wallets. Like if you're planning to mine Flux, you definitely need a Zelcore wallet. A lot of cryptocurrencies will have their own wallet. So once you have a wallet created, and saved, then you can pretty much go back to your worker, and then you can start creating your flight sheet. So your flight sheet pretty much is what's going to run everything and give you ability to switch in between coins and everything else. And most of the flight sheets are self-explanatory. As you can see out here, I'm mining Flux and Ethereum because I got some Nvidia cards and I got some AMD cards, and with AMD cards I'm mining Ethereum on Hive pool, and on all the Nvidia cards I'm mining Flux on minerpool.org. So for example, I already have a flight sheet created, but I'm going to duplicate it, and just to give you a quick rundown of things to do. Out here, you don't necessarily need two miners in one flight sheet. You can just delete one of them, but it's relatively simple to set up. So drop down menu, you pick a coin that you would like to mine, wallet that you created, whatever you named it. You can pick a wallet. Most of the time, it will only it will let you pick the wallet that's specific for that coin. So if you have 100 wallets, only wallets for that specific coin will populate out here. You're looking at the pool that you're going to mine to. Sometimes you will be running into issue where the pool is not actually in a drop down menu. So what you'll have to do is you'll select configure in miner. This is where you pick the miner that you're going to use. In my case, Mini Z is very efficient when it comes to mining Flux, but you can definitely pick any miner, try them out and see how it works. Then we're going to go set up miner config. Very important to pick algorithm that you're using to mine, wallet, and a worker name. Most of the time this is default, so you can actually just use a drop down menu, the little blue eye icon, and just click it down. It will populate. Since we didn't have to configure pool manually, we can just go with the URL over here. It's automatically going to populate. Password, you can pick whatever you want. Extra configuration data, as you kind of keep rolling with certain things, you'll have to update some of those, but for the most part, if you just leave it blank, it'll be perfectly fine. Version of the miner, you can just use latest. You'll hit apply changes, and then for Ethereum coin you will do exact same thing, and once you hit update, it will actually, you have to save everything, otherwise it's not going to work out very good. So if I hit update, this is the one that we just created, and all you would have to do is click on a spaceship and send it to the moon, and you will actually start seeing your rig as you see out here. I have 4 rigs mining on this flight sheet. If you want to stop it, you definitely can. So now that you have your flight sheet running, your iOS screen for your rig will actually populate. It will look something like this. It will give you a hash rate for all of your cards. It will also give you a flight sheet that you're running currently. Few things that you want to look at and set up is auto fan setting. I usually run mine, set up a critical temperature, preferred core, minimum fan speed, max fan speed. Also, drop down menu, Hive shell. It will actually tell you how your miner is doing, or if you're running into any issues. This is easy way to kind of take a look. So right now we're loading into a Hive shell. Also, there's like you can use a miner action, miner log, miner config, stop miner, restart miner, or anything like that. Drop down menu, since I'm running 2 miners, you can actually pick which one you want to do. So we have this little icon for Hive shell. So out here it gives you the cards that are running, current temperatures and everything else, and then if you type in miner, it will actually show you the miner how it's doing. Down here, if you take a look at the bottom screen, it tells you Control AA to actually switch from Mini Z to a different miner. So if we do Control AA, we are actually right now LOL miner. My 2 AMD cards that are mining Ethereum and Hive on pool. So definitely something to look at from time to time. Closing out, nothing fancy. Just leave the website. Close this one out. Overclocking for any of your cards. You have this icon towards the back. Hit overclock right now. uh, what I have, a lot of overclocks you can get online, but you can also take a look at the popular preset tab. Pick your coin. So let's see, going to go Flux, and then it tells you how many people are actually using this preset. Not necessarily is this 100% accurate, but it does give you a good overview what you should be looking at, because they do not tell you out here the memory type of your card and everything else, but you can find plenty of the overclock presets online. And plus, not every card is the same depending on the silicon lottery, so you can definitely experiment. What you want to do is you definitely want to limit your power to your card. It will reduce power consumption, but it will also keep your cards a little bit cooler, and you just kind of try different things and see how it works. Make sure your Hive OS is not freezing. Most of the time, if it tells you that your rig is offline, it might not necessarily be offline. It might just be frozen because of your overclocks, but it could possibly be offline because a cable is unplugged or it's having other issues. So this is usually a good screen to take a look at. And as I said before, if you are doing cleaning of your mining rig, you definitely want to try to plug in same cards. Otherwise, your overclocks might actually end up on wrong cards and everything else, and then you'll just have to restart, do it all over again. Thank you very much once again for sticking around. Hopefully this was a good introduction to get started on your crypto journey. Best of luck with everything. Please comment, subscribe, like, and until next time, stay safe and healthy. Crypto TNT out.